out into the airwaves. It's time for the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. Martin is a national championship fullback from the 1992 Alabama Crimson Tide, known for his bruising runs and devastating blocks. Now he's bulldozing through sports talk with that same championship intensity. Joining him is his son, Xavier, a savant of football knowledge and statistical insight. He's your go-to source for the latest recruiting news and insider updates from across the Bama Nation. And Simeon, the thinker and contemplator, bringing you insight and knowledge that is logical, thoughtful, and on point. Together, they deliver fair and balanced analysis from an insider's perspective with real conversations where the callers, the listeners, and the online maniacs get in on the action by sharing their thoughts, their comment, and their reaction. Join our online maniacs at facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. You're listening to Tide 100.9 and 1230 WTBC. It's time for kickoff. So buckle up and get ready, because this is the sound of Bama sports. The Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon is live. Roll Tide, roll!
Roll Tide, roll. Good morning on this Tuesday morning. You know, we haven't done this in a while, so we may need to throw in a little true false, guys. Anyway, that just crossed my mind. I was so upset yesterday with this Ty Simpson situation. Then I went on Ryan's show and just went off for another. I messed Ryan's show up because he was wanting to talk about something else, and that took over. But we got some things we're going to hit this morning. We are in with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon on the Martin Houston Show. We're powered by Box Eye Care. Man, I was listening to a spot this morning. Literally this morning, I think I was asleep, but I still heard it. And it was talking about having a local pharmacist, having an independent, locally owned pharmacist who knows you. It's the same thing with your eyeglasses. You can have one of those big box people take care of your eyes. They just take people in and out. Or you can have somebody local like Box Eye Care that will take care of you. Dr. Box and his team will get to know you. They'll grow with your family like they grew with mine. They've taken care of all of ours. They took care of them long enough that I had to join the crew and get some assistance with my vision. Box Eye Care take care of you, and they take care of us each and every day. Go check them out down on Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. We've got a great show lined up for you. One of those things is going to talk about, we are a Alabama emphasis sports show. So we're going to take a little jaunt around the SEC, as well as a couple other things we're going to hit today, guys.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome into the show. We are joined by DC, a DC Capstone Report today, as we are each and every Tuesday. But as we hit around the capstone, we're going to talk a little Alabama softball, baseball. Both of those teams have been rolling. We'll hit some women's basketball as well. Then, of course, we'll talk with DC about the game from Saturday with men's basketball, as well as their game tonight against Georgia. Don't also forget that we're going to hit the winners and the losers from the combine for Alabama. Who did you all think won the combine? Who didn't have necessarily the performance that you thought they would have? We'll get into that and more. Remember, Maniacs, welcome in, and you can join in on the hotline at 205-342-9904 or in the chat with your opinions as we go throughout today's show. Good morning, DC.
How you doing this morning? Good morning, Martin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, that was
we sound that much alike, DC?
That was Xavier.
Oh, that was Xavier?
Yeah. But good morning.
I thought I said good morning, Nick.
No,
That's
good
awesome.
morning, DC. DC getting things kicked off with around the capstone. Alabama's softball team. We'll start there. They're 22-0, undefeated, number 7 in the country. But man, once again, it is one of those things that can be. How good are they when you look at how deep the SEC is?
Yeah, really serious. You can't take away from what they've done so far this year. Won every game put before them. But the question is, how good are they? The SEC is by far the top league. When they start playing the teams like Oklahoma and Texas and Tennessee and other teams that are they're just winning as much. What's it going to happen then? But right now I think they have put together a really good, interesting team using some young people who've come in there and really showed out why they were recruited for Alabama.
Yeah,
From
it's been a good start. Go ahead, Sam.
I'm just looking at some of the stats. Alabama has a pitcher named Vic Moten who is third in the country with .32 ERA, and as a team they're second in the nation with allowing .68 of a run per game. So pitching is obviously for the first part of the season has been a huge benefit to the Alabama Crimson Tide. But I feel like also on the other side, they've been able to get more runs as well. And I feel like the past few years that's been a struggle for Pat Murphy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it has.
Some of the young players have really stepped up with the bat, and a lot of times that it's hard for them to catch up with the speed of the pitching in the college. But they've really done a good job this year on offense.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like he's turning things around on the offensive side, which has been a question for a few years. Switching over to
Are they
baseball.
scoring
Go
with?
ahead, Sam.
All I want to know is, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't got to watch much. I've seen some highlights. I want to know, do we have any power hitters? Because that's softball. I mean, let me tell you, softball, like slap hitting used to be the stick. That's where you won with good pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Now these other teams have added good pitching, and you ain't gonna slapstick your way all the way around the bases anymore. You're going to have somebody who can jack it to the fence or over the fence and some power hits. Not trying to be funny. When you look at these other teams, their players, and I'm not being ugly with this. If I was watching it, it looked like Alabama back in the day when Alabama was going against Vanderbilt. Bigger, faster, stronger, more power. Have they added any of that, DC? It's Simeon. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Simeon was on the right path there. But yeah, they have some of the young talent has really come up on the bat. But go ahead, Simeon.
Are they? I'm talking about. Do they look the part? I ain't talking about these little girls that get every once in a while.
I don't know if they look the part, but they have three women that have at least 7 home runs and 20 RBIs during the season. So they have some type of power.
Okay.
They have 39
right.
home runs on the season.
You don't have to be big. You can be a Ken Griffey Jr. As long as you got a sweet bat. I'm just saying that when you get to those Texas games and stuff, I mean, am I being ugly with it? Y'all get what I'm saying? When you watch,
we get what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's like they got people getting off the bus, and you're like, oh.
When they had Bailey Hempfield,
they got a butt, but your son, they got a whole lot. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Hey, let's quickly wrap up around the SEC. DC, your thoughts real quick on baseball and women's hoops.
Well, I think first of all, baseball got off to a rough start on their first game, but it really bounced back well. And it's all about pitching. Again, how they do when they get to the SEC will be another tale. As X said before, again, baseball deep in the SEC, and they'll play against some great competition. But I think they're heading in the right direction. They've got I think last year they lacked the depth in the pitching. They had an injury that really showed how weak their depth was. And if they can get their depth in the pitching on a better rotation, I think they have a chance to compete this year. Basketball, you just can't really say enough about what Christy Curry's done with the basketball program. They've really come along. Again, they're playing in a league where the top best of the basketball teams are in the SEC. They've lost some games against Texas and South Carolina, teams that exposed some of the areas that they're weak in. But in other games, they've been able to win and win handily for teams they haven't been able to beat in the past. So I think they've got basketball going in the right direction.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how basketball continues to go. Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. And as we come in on the other side of the break, I give you to invite your winners. And next quarter, we are going to invite your winners and losers for the combine. Yesterday,
Yes,
we had a quick topic on it yesterday, but I invite you to give your winners and losers.
That's right. When we come back on the other side, we're going to get into that combine conversation, get DC's thoughts, get your thoughts. And hey, listen, I'm telling you, football used to be the king of the SEC. I'm not sure if football, now if you were to rank it, football may be fourth. Softball may be deeper. Baseball may be deeper. Basketball may be deeper. Gymnastics may be deeper. I mean, so these coaches are doing a better job. They just happen to be in the best conference. So kudos to the guys and the coaches around the capstone. Wanted to shout them out. And like Jimmy said, come back on the other side. We want your winners and your losers on the other side of the break.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you. Getting off to a nice and quiet start as you travel around the area. Moving about 2059 looks good between 359 and Joe Malisham. All is well on McFarland. No problems to report here from Watermelon to 43 and even beyond. You're doing A-OK. And making your way on Skyland at 69. You're inside the road construction zone, but no delays there as well. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by eBay.
So I was on eBay because I'm absolutely obsessed
with this rare hologram trading card. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. eBay had it. They even had
the perfect parts that fit my car.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay.
Hey, I'm Richard Adams with Adams Services. The air your family breathes passes through your home's duct system multiple times per day. Corroded, leaking, or dirty ductwork wastes energy as well as diminished comfort and degrades indoor air quality. It's a threat to both your health and your budget. Exactly why you should call your local experts at Adams Services for our complete range of duct services, 205-339-6540 or at adamssvcs.com. Adams Services.
Got timberland in West Alabama or East Mississippi? North River Timber Company has you covered. Since 2011, Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties. They offer comprehensive timber management plans, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go unrealized. Call North River Timber Company today. Email them at northrivertimberco@gmail.com or call 205-242-5127.
Excess. Pre-owned. Inventory sell-off. Now at Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa. Thousands off, and we pay the sales tax. You heard right. Thousands off, and we pay the sales tax for you. 200 pre-owned vehicles at Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa. Great fourth quarter sales. Brought in a record number of trade-ins. Chevrolets, Mercedes, Hondas, Toyotas, BMWs, Fords, all makes, all models, cars, trucks, and SUVs. Many still have the factory warranty. New car shipments are on the way. These pre-owned vehicles have got to go. Need financing? We have banks and local credit unions ready to lend. Excess, pre-owned, inventory sell-off, thousands off, and we pay the sales tax while supplies last at Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa. Mercedes-of-Tuscaloosa.com. Mercedes-of-Tuscaloosa.com.
To qualified buyers, up to $500 in sales tax paid for Alabama and South Carolina residents only. Expires March 31st, 2026.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A very nice day today, mostly sunny, the high at 78. Clear tonight, the low 56. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny, the high 81. Very warm Thursday and Friday, partially sunny both days, highs between 81 and 84. I'm James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.9. It's 59 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the program. Welcome back in. This is the Martin Houston Show. Xavier, Simeon, DC talking to you guys today. We invite you to get in on the conversation. Once again, as we're going to break, we told you get your winners and losers ready. Get your winners and losers ready. But before we get into that conversation, winning and losers from the combine, before we get into that conversation, we're going to talk a little bit about that Tennessee game. We're going to get DC's thoughts. And then we want to give you a chance. We want to give you a chance to give us your winners and losers. We've already got Q Dixon jumping in on that conversation. I want you to get a chance to do that as well. But before we do that, I always have to pay some bills. Don't forget about the good folks over at Dixie Battery Supply. Dixie Battery Supply, they provide all of your battery needs, from the smallest device to the largest vehicle. Brick and mortar locations in Tuscaloosa, Northport, and Bessemer. Dixie Battery Supply. They buy junk batteries. They can take care of you. Recently got my GMC fired up and powered up, and they'll do the same for you. That's Dixie Battery Supply. Check them out online, dixiebatterysupply.com. All right, guys. As we were talking, Tim, I tossed it to you. We had some decent conversation about the Tennessee game. I know DC's a big fan. What you got for him?
Yeah, DC, coming off of a game like the Tennessee game like that, where you shouldn't have won that game whatsoever. You get out-rebounded, you get outperformed in every stat, but you're still a way to come out with a victory. What does this say about this Alabama team?
Well, I think, first of all, the maturity. I think they've matured a good bit during the season. I think they have a lot of ability to win, and they know that. And even when they're playing bad, they can win a game. If you can play bad and still win a game somehow in basketball, I think that's good for your NCAA tournament run. I think that's what you need to do sometimes when you're playing in a tournament. So they're getting tournament ready. That's a good positive thing. But to see the will that they had to stick to it in a hostile environment, playing a team, a really good team that had shut them down defensively, out-rebounded them. Pretty much, I think they had 16 offensive rebounds at the first half, and Alabama was able to turn around in the second half a little bit. They held them to 9. When you say held them to 9, that's kind of a thing that you don't really want to have 9 at all. But at least they improved over their first half, and then they had some good shooting. I think it all boiled down in that game to guard play. Amari Allen didn't have his best game offensively, but Latrell Wrightsell steps up. It seems like if you take Phylon, Wrightsell, Holloway, Allen, somebody's going to lead the team when they need it. And I think that's what Alabama has lacked in years past, is leadership across the board. And I think we've got multiple teams players that can lead this team. So it says a lot about their maturity, and I think they're going to need that. They'll need it this week. They'll need it tonight when they go on the road to play a really Georgia team that could really sneak up and put a monkey wrench into their plans. If Alabama had a less mature team on the road, I think Coach Oates spoke to that yesterday. But I think this team has a chance to close out the year and get really peaking as they go into the NCAA.
Yeah. The fact that when we were talking to Kennington yesterday, this is the first game Alabama has won this season where they scored under 80 points is really impressive, especially when you hear how badly they were dominated on the boards, being out-rebounded by 17 offensively and defensively throughout the game, but able to grind and grit out that tough win. The maturity of this team since the Bediako saga has ended has really turned it up a notch as a whole, gritting out some really tough wins down this SEC stretch.
And the interesting part for me in that game was they really hung in there with the threes, hit more threes than Tennessee did a good job of that. Tennessee tried to make them play that second 2-point shot in mid-range jumpers a couple of times by switching. But interesting, they adapted. Their coaches helped them adapt, and in the last seconds of the game, they actually used it to their advantage, Tennessee's defense, and was able to hit the step-back mid-range jumper for the last 2 shots, Holloway and Phylon, to actually win the game. So, in my opinion, that's another sign of maturity. This team has actually been able to use what the other team was doing against them. Instead of cratering and not know how to attack it, they've been able to come out and make some adjustments and attack it. Who would have thought their last 2 shots would have been mid-range jumpers that they don't really like to take?
Yeah, to me, defense was actually on the difference in this game. We only scored 71 points. When I look at it, I have to go, okay, we scored 71 points. Now Phylon down the stretch outscored Tennessee like 13-8. Phylon outscored Tennessee, not Alabama. And all of those were drives and finishes at the rim up until that last one. He was going to the rim. So definitely a sign of not settling and becoming aggressive. But to me, it was defense and Aiden Sherrill. You don't understand. I don't think we're giving the defense enough love, and I don't think we're giving Aiden enough love. They had, 3-4 big men that they just kept rotating in on him, and he got it. To me, it seemed like he got stronger down the stretch. DC,
I agree 100%. I don't think we give enough credit to Aiden Sherrill. He's playing 33 to 38 minutes a game against other teams that are rotating 2 or 3 big men in there on him, and he's really showing his intensity late in games as well. Not fouling out. I mean, they're running 3 guys at him trying to get him to foul out, and he's not fouling out, and playing really good defense. So you're right. Anytime we're held to 71 points and win the game, our defense helped us win that game. No doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to the game.
Hey, real quick, Samuel Pittner.
Absolutely.
We're gonna. I want you to come to your topic, but Sam, I want you to put in there, because for us watching on home, we had one experience.
Yeah.
Sam, what was it like in that building? Let us know what it was like. Samuel Pittner and his son went to the game, DC, because on TV when we won that game, we didn't leave with 20-something seconds. Them folks didn't leave. They did not leave. So I want to know what it was like, what they were saying. Was it as shocking, and what was that atmosphere like? So tell us about that. But go ahead now, Sam.
Yeah, just moving on to the game today. Alabama has a short turnaround. They usually play on Wednesdays, so we'll see about legs and all that stuff. LeBaron Fallon is not on the injury report, so he should be a full go. I don't know if he'll be a full go because Nate Oates said even last night that they don't expect him to be 100% for the rest of the year. So whatever he's been dealing with seems to be some major, not major, but concerning injury. But Georgia averages 89 points a game. So they're going to be ripping and running. I think that feeds into Alabama's style. They lead the SEC with 20 points per game, 20 fast break points per game. So I think this is going to be another high scoring game that Alabama's going to have to come out and make shots. DC, what do you think about having to come and have to play a fast paced game after playing Tennessee, and then how slow Tennessee likes to play versus how fast Georgia likes to play?
Well, I think it's going to be a challenging game for sure. Two things. One, it's going on the road in a hostile environment, short turnaround. And three, they're going to play a fast-paced game. So that all kind of goes against you in your favor after coming off a game against Tennessee. But I think they're playing Alabama style of game. So if Alabama's got enough materials, I think they will. They'll be able to go on the road and play the game that they want to play. Don't let Georgia dictate their game. Play good defense, limit their turnovers, and shoot well. If they do those things, I think Alabama comes out of this game a tough victory, but a victory on the road.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard fought. The back-to-back road games on top of that factor, I think is going to play really key, and just getting the guys into a rhythm early, because we know that they're going to want to try to take them out of that and try to kind of dictate how the flow of the game goes. Even though it's similar styles, can Aiden Sherrill handle being the Bama's really only big man? Can LeBaron and Aiden get going early? And if one of them struggles, is it going to be Latrell? Is it going to be Amari? Alabama's proven to have 4 or 5 guys that you can rely on being the 1 and 2 scorers, which I think bodes well moving forward.
Yeah, especially with.
I agree.
I'm sorry, DC. Go ahead.
No, I agree. I think another interesting thing will be will LeBaron Fallon come off the bench again, or will he start in this game?
Yeah, I think that's a interesting question. I think he'll end up coming back up to the starting lineup. I think Aiden Holloway fits the offense better coming off the bench, being that second point guard better than LeBaron.
Mm-hmm. I think they both are interchangeable, honestly, at that point. DC, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that LeBaron, I just tell you, listen to people, and they'll tell you how they feel, really, how it really is. And in his talking, he said he liked coming off the bench. He liked coming off the bench because it gives him a chance to get in the flow. And I think we saw him dialed in down the stretch. And I think one of the reasons were he was able to really see the defense and see how he could explore it. And I believe that's kind of what you see when he gets that switch with the 6'11" big guy, and he just shakes his head like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, yeah, DC. Do you think Alabama's AP ranking is fair? They're ranked number 16 in the nation.
You're asking me about rankings, and I would always say I don't think any rankings are fair because they're not objective. They're subjective, and they're based on what people see. They're not based on who you played, what you've done, how you've done it, and so I don't ever put any fairness in any objections. I'm glad that basketball we don't have to worry about that because it's always one on the court after a long tournament where you've had opportunity to play multiple teams. So, it is what it is what I would say.
Absolutely. Great conversation around Alabama and the Tennessee game. We got mollywop, we got our butt spanked, we got rockied, and then we found a way to land that winning punch at the end. I know P. Fields hates the ranking. Phil's been asking that question for about 3 weeks. DC, we finally got it right, and we still not high enough for for P. Phil's ranking. I think P. Phil think we need to be top 5, y'all. But that's okay. He's Bama through and through. He said he thinks that Bama should be a 3 seed after winning 8 in a row. They get to 10, they might get a 3 seed. They might. I mean, you end up 10 in a row and fool around and win a few games in that tournament because they could if they don't win the tournament, they're going to end up with a 10, 12, 13 game win streak max, right? Unless they win the tournament. So either way, that's pretty good. Come back on the other side. We're going to get Alan's thoughts. He wants to talk football. We're going to talk football. We're going to talk combine. We're going to have all of those conversations. Remember, Maniacs, we can't do this without you, and we don't want to. So call us at 205-342-9904 or post your thoughts, comments, and reactions. As we go to break, let's hear what somebody that was in the stadium had to say. Cameron Pittman said it was very loud. Tennessee fans really thought they had that game. They looked at me and my son like we were crazy, but we never gave up. When Fallon hit that last shot, it got silent. And when time ran out, we were lit, and that whole stadium was in shock. But that's exactly what we saw on television. My wife was like, "Oh, they don't know what to think. They look like somebody that stole their cat or their dog." Old Smokey. Roll Tide, baby. We'll be back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you. Getting off to a nice and quiet start as you travel around the area. Moving about 2059 looks good between 359 and Joe Malisham. All is well on McFarland. No problems to report here from Watermelon to 43 and even beyond. You're doing A-OK. And making your way on Skyland at 69. You're inside the road construction zone, but no delays there as well. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
2 of the 80s biggest acts, Great White, Slaughter, together.
Come on now, rock me.
Great White, Slaughter. Saturday, April 18th at Pro River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. Get tickets now at ProRiverResort.com. Great White, Slaughter, together, live.
Hey guys, are you ready to take control of your health, energy, and performance? Primetime Men's Health Clinic is ready to help. Their clinic is built around the idea that men deserve better care, private and tailored to their lives. So if you're experiencing low testosterone, weight gain, hair loss, ED, or just want to perform like you did in your 20s, go to primetimemensclinic.com and change your life. That's right, guys. Change your life by going to primetimemensclinic.com.
I'm a good person. I pay my taxes, and then, right when I get my refund check, bam! Car dealers want it for a down payment. Well, not this year. I'm going to Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Every vehicle is just a dime.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime. Every vehicle, one dime down.
And save thousands. We're overstocked with new 2025s. They all must go.
Plus acres of certified pre-owned. All makes, all models. No credit, no problem. If you got a job and a dime, you ride.
Not your whole tax return.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime. One dime down. Plus get 0% financing for 60 months.
At Tuscaloosa Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during the Start Something New sales event.
TuscaloosaCDJR.com.
Example 25 Dodge Hornet, 32,850, dime down, 575 a month, 60 months at 6% APR, plus tax tag title to qualified buyers.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
You got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a... let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13, and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with autopay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Xavier, Simeon, and DC. Had some fun comments coming back from Samuel Pittner and his son as they walked out of the Orange Barn, that garbage convention center, puke in you, throw up in your mouth type of, yeah. He said, walking around during the halftime, oh boy, those fans really thought they had us. My son and I walked out, though, feeling like $1 million. Talking about feeling like $1 million. Here in a little bit, we're going to talk about, did anybody walk out of the combine feeling like $1 million? We're going to talk about that. Jacob Powell talked about that orange in that arena would have had him in the bathroom throw it up. Ms. Pittner said, Sam, how you not take a picture of Smokey? I would love to see. Did Smokey realize what happened? With Smokey head down, he wouldn't even take a picture of Smokey. He said we were outnumbered, I'd say 200-1 as Alabama fans, but just a great, amazing time for my son and I's first basketball. Oh, wow, what a first game to go to. That was big time. So we are going to get to that, whether DC think there's anybody coming out of there feeling like $1 million in the combine. But before we do that, let's get Alan's question and work that into the conversation. Alan, you're in on the hotline with Simeon, Xavier, and DC. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, gentlemen. Y'all must have gave Chase some Red Bull because he was totally different this morning. He was excited to hear from me. So, hey, kudos to whoever gave him the Red Bull. I'm proud of y'all.
All right.
What I was going to say was, I'm saying this tongue in cheek and just joking, but we've got somebody in Tuscaloosa right now. We need to put him on the defense. We need to have him as a spirit, as somebody just a coach on the sideline to get the players going. He was one of the best linebackers for his size to ever come through Tuscaloosa. Y'all got Andre Roll in Tuscaloosa. We should use that guy. We may get a couple of 15-yard penalties here and there from the defense, but hey, you tell me a guy that would get that defense more excited than Andre would.
DC.
No doubt about that. I mean, he definitely would be a good rah-rah guy for the sidelines. Andre Roy always was overachiever and very passionate about what he did. You got that right, Al.
Yeah, Al,
if we can take the 15-yard penalties, and Martin, we can take those 15-yard penalties every once in a while. It may be the critical moment sometimes, but Dre would definitely be. What was the other guy, the strength coach, Cochran? He would be the version of Scott Cochran on the sideline.
Yeah, it's interesting. Some teams have done stuff like that. Like some teams that you see that have a whole lot of the and I'm not trying to be funny with this, convicts and the Catholics. You remember with the whole Miami thing.
Right.
One of the big things they used to do was kind of bring some people. At one point, they got to where they were bringing so many people in and started getting out of hand. And so to try to fix it, they kind of tried to bring in some people kind of bring it down a little bit. But you've seen teams do that. DC guys, I guess that's a thought. Does this coaching staff, especially with here's my concern, and I know this is a sidebar. Here's my concern. Shepard was the vocal guy on this coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
He was the rah-rah guy before the game, on the sideline, and you do need that. How many do you remember when Alabama had gotten so businesslike that the guys didn't seem like they were having fun, and all of a sudden, I think it may have been Arkansas or somebody where Cochran, and all of a sudden they were all dancing on the sideline, and from there they took off that season. You remember that, DC? I can't remember which year it was and which game, but
yeah, I do remember. I remember it. I remember the year they were so businesslike, and they were talking about how locked in they were, and they weren't having any fun anymore. And then all of a sudden, you see them up on the feet, jumping up and down, yelling and throwing the towels up in the air. And Cochran was the instigator of that for sure.
And to me, Alabama's not been the same program. Thanks, Alan. I know you said that tongue in cheek, but I take it as all tongue. There may be a little life in that statement, but I just remember since Cochran's left, Alabama, even the one year that they won the national title in 2020, that was a business like championship because of COVID and all of that. Alabama hadn't won one outside of that since Cochran left.
No, and I think that's a fact that you need the motivator. You need the energy, the juice throughout the game. Because it didn't matter what was going on. Alabama didn't lose a whole bunch when Scott Cochran was here. But even when we were in tight games, high pressure situations, he was there to be the motivator to keep the guys locked in mentally, no matter what was going on throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely needed. You need somebody that is there for your players. That's not necessarily, they can be a coach, but they don't always have to be a coach or on the field with responsibility coach. But you just always need a guy that doesn't get persuaded by if you're down by 10 or if you're up by 10, they're going to stay that hype guy.
Cochran was Saban's most important assistant coach. He was the most important.
Then why do you think he didn't? Why did he?
Because he didn't want him on the field.
Why?
Because he loses. You lose some of that.
Yeah.
And Saban said that off the record, my program is not a proving ground. So that was part of it. So, but because of his role, he was the guy that spent all of the time in the off season, all of the time getting ready in the off season, all summer. He was that guy when the coaches couldn't get around.
He got to know every player,
every position.
When you're a position coach, you know your guys. Not saying that you don't know, but you know your guys. Cochran had the ability to reach out and touch every position: offense, defense, special teams.
Yeah. So, and DC, your thoughts there? I mean, I think he's the most important coach he had.
Oh, no doubt about it. And Simeon's excellent right track. He was able to touch everyone through that fourth quarter program. Everybody was pushed to the brink there, and you discovered who you were as a man, who you were as a person, what you thought about yourself when you think you should quit, how you could get through that. He helped people through that, helped them reach their potential, and he was the guy that everybody could go to when they're like you said, the position coach was talking about what they were doing in that room, but Cochran was the one factor that went across all the rooms, and they could confide in him as well. And he had their back, and they had his back.
Yeah, and I can't. Simeon, you hit it too. I think it was you that said it. One of y'all said it. It didn't matter whether you were up by 10 or down by 10. Cochran had you playing. He was the one that helped that not focus on the scoreboard be reality. he was that guy that made that a reality. And I can tell you, it matters. Like your nephew, my grandson, he's a really really good baseball player, but he struggles to hit slow pitching. Like you want to strike him out, just throw it slow. And I said that's because you're not locking in mentally. When the ball's pitched fast, you have to be locked in. But because you have that pretty swing and all of that, when it's a slow pitch, you don't have the same focus. So I talked to him about that last night, and he hit 2 home runs last night in practice, but it was on when the coach threw it fast. Then he fanned on slow pitching, and I got onto him again, and that's what Cochran brought to the table, guys. It's just keep emphasizing and bringing you back to you play to the Bama standard, not to your competition.
Right.
And I think that that's something that's potentially missing with culture now, because we play really good teams well, and
middle of the road to
middle of the road
bad
teams.
games.
Of course, Indiana is that you can't call them the middle of the road. Now they were the middle of the road. They weren't in the middle of the road before. But anyway, hey, let's switch over to that combine. Salmon Pittner said he said they walked out feeling like $1 million. Guys, DC, who you think walked out feeling like $1 million from the combine?
Well, I think no doubt that Ty Simpson won the combine for what he was able to do there, and I don't think I'm just the only one saying that. I mean, the people all over the nation are saying it that watched the combine and saying that he was one of the biggest winners of the day. But I mean, when you think about what he was able to do with his health, getting right, getting the weight, then able to go out and perform on the field, throwing every throw, making every throw. But what impressed me more was what he talked about when he had a chance to interview and talk with the teams and that sort of thing. So I think Ty Simpson, of course. I think Jam Miller was a surprise. I think his speed was a surprise. Being the 4th running back in the class with the best speed in his start was really good. And then I'd say Josh Wavis was really upped his draft stock with his ability in all the different skill sets. And the one on defense that I thought up their draft stock was Damani Jackson. I think with his speed and the way he spoke and the way he did handle all of his drills, he had the potential to be someone like a Josh Jobe that didn't reach his potential in college. May have peaked too early, but then with the pro team, given the right pro team, he could, in a couple of years, be on a team that helps him win a Super Bowl. So I think those are my opinion, the players that really did themselves good for Alabama players.
Yeah, I think all those guys were great with the way that they performed. And talk about Ty, man, his deep ball is pretty when he lets it go. And that was something that was a concern that a lot of Alabama fans have, but you saw it be there, and maybe that's something that translates. Maybe it was just the way that games were called and things of that nature that he didn't really showcase that this year. Now, of course, he had some drops too on some pretty deep balls throughout the course of the season, and hopefully Hollywood gets that corrected for 2026.
But DC, I gotta ask you this question: wouldn't you say though, if there was something that was missing from tie game, it'd be the deep ball, and what was missing from the run game, I would have said was breakaway speed.
Yeah, kind of funny that the things that we thought were weaknesses at Alabama, when they are on their own showing their skill set, they seem to have those. Why didn't they have them at Alabama is the question. That makes you want to ask that question, right?
You got a guy with that kind of speed, you run a tall sweep, get him on the edge and let him outrun people.
Yeah, and they didn't do that. They were trying to get him. They were, and not only that, but his first burst out of the block from the 40 was off the charts compared to the other backs, and so
we
got to play
definitely
like
didn't see that.
Huh?
We definitely didn't see him hit.
Didn't see that at all. Didn't see it at all. So you had your whole scheme on your running game could be built around a player that you had that could could really showcase those skills, and we didn't showcase those skills one time.
Yeah, and speaking on Jam Miller, I mean, I was reading his overview from the combine, and they were like, "Yeah, he has impressive speed, but his impressive speed is limited by his lack of vision." And so you can have 4.4 speed, but if you can't see the hole, then you're just going to run into a 4.4 into the back of your offensive lineman. And I think that's what us Alabama fans saw from Jam this past year was his lack of vision and decision, and they call him a segmented runner. So he never gets going.
And everybody always goes in Q Dixon always goes back to the O line. I'm telling you,
they didn't blame it on the O line.
No, I'm saying I'm gonna go back. We need to go back and watch more film from the end zone view versus the television view that we get to watch football from, and see how often he missed holes. But the other part of that is help your running back out. Okay, help your running back out. Pitch it outside where the gaps are bigger, and while he's running sideways, he can pick his hole.
And he was better at that.
Right? So if you make him go this way, he was hesitating.
He was better than that, but we didn't do it enough. That's what I think Martin is saying.
Right. Yeah, and the other part is add a tight end, because when you add the tight end, you spread the defense out even more. Remember, the defense doesn't always add another lineman when you add a tight end, but the tight end who was on the outside shoulder of the tackle is now on the outside shoulder of the tight end. So there's a natural bigger gap. Let me tell you, DC, and Simeon can relate to this. We weren't real good. And Xavier can relate to this. I always ended up coaching the teams, DC, and Simeon shaking his head because they never got to win in Little League. Because I always took the kids that nobody else wanted. And we would get better and better. And by the end of the year, we would be a decent football team. But, DC, we couldn't block anybody. You know what I would do? If the other team was well coached, I would make sure that we had big splits. If the other team wasn't well coached, you couldn't do it because the kids wouldn't know that they're supposed to cover and be on the head up or shoulder or whatever. But if they were well coached, DC, I would create gaps. Instead of having a 1 foot gap, I'd have a 3 foot gap, which naturally gave what? The defender a harder time to cover. I throw a tight end up there and make it even wider. And that's how we got our yards. I mean, that's literally how we did it. And I don't understand why coaches don't do that. Go ahead, DC.
Well, I was going to say, I think if you know your player better than anybody, and if you know your player's got great speed, which he did, and poor vision, which he did, then use his strengths, accentuate his strengths, and downplay his weaknesses. So you don't have him run the gap play where he has to squeeze through a foot gap. You run him outside where the natural motion of the play widens the gaps, first of all, because you're running that way. You can stretch the defense outside, and you allow them to pull or cut back into a large hole, not looking for a small hole. So that's what you do.
The problem with that,
I don't know why we didn't do that.
The problem with that is I think most of their offense and their play action was built off of inside runs and so they would have to make an offensive change, but you still could have ran it a little bit more probably than what you did. Real quick, DC, there's some questions coming up, guys. Make a note on the question the Maniacs have, so we'll jump on their stuff tomorrow. But DC, as we wrap up, what are your thoughts? Why is everybody sleeping on Jeremy Bernard's performance? Nobody's really talking about it, but did he play himself potentially into a late first round spot?
Yeah, I think he did. I think his speed was fair, and I think his hands were good. And I think he's played himself into a good late first round, early second round pick, and will make somebody a good receiver. I don't think he's that flashy, so I think it's reason people aren't talking about him as much.
All right, tell us where we can find you, DC.
You can find me at DCCapstoneReport.com, DC Capstone Facebook page. And you can follow me on Twitter at DavidCott50.
X.
Hey, this is the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. That was DC, the DC Capstone Report, joining us every Tuesday as he does. I was Chase Brumfeld pressing all the right buttons. I'm Xavier Houston. That's Simeon Houston and Martin Houston. We appreciate you joining us on this Tuesday edition of the show. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow to kick things off. Y'all have a blessed day.
Remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Hey, Maniacs, we still need your winners and losers. I know I haven't seen you post them. Come tomorrow to talk about those winners and losers. And hopefully we'll be talking about Bama taking down the Dogs one more time. We'll be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Roll Tide, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.